Hello and welcome back to Sex Talk with the Sex Chick. I am your host, Lauren Violet, sex and relationship coach and therapist. And I discuss and educate all things sex and relationships so that we can break down old school paradigms and stigmas and instead create and enjoy the sex life and relationships of our dreams. And today I want to talk to you all about the orgasm gap. For those of you who aren't aware of this, the orgasm gap is this phenomena that occurs where men and women in heterosexual relationships together have a gap in the experience of orgasms. So men frequently are experiencing more orgasms more often in heterosexual sex than women are. And studies show that even women in homosexual relationships with other women are experiencing more orgasms than women in heterosexual relationships. Also, women are experiencing more orgasms on their own, on their solo play, than with a male partner. Now, I want to talk about this because it is something that does not have to be the norm and it does not have to be put up with, and it is something that can be worked on if you are in a heterosexual relationship. So if you are a man and you have a female partner, if you're a woman and you have a male partner, this is for you. To start off with, I want to emphasize it is not the man's fault, nor is it the woman's fault. This is a phenomena that is sort of like a social and cultural thing in society. And it's created sort of by society, and it's almost reinforced by some of the messages that society has around sex. So if you think about porn as the first and foremost example, mainstream porn is very much focused on the male ejaculation and very much focused on like the sex finishes when the guy comes everywhere or comes, in a cream pie scenario. So porn and mainstream media and the image and the messages that it portrays and represents for sex kind of enhances and like reinforces this orgasm gap. On top of that, there is a lack of education on human anatomy, and this is for both men and women growing up. I mean, as we grow up, most people's parents or family systems aren't teaching them about their body and their anatomy and how they can experience pleasure there, let alone about the body and anatomy of the opposite sex. And then in sex education, once again, there is very little to no education on the anatomy of each human. So for women themselves, they're not being taught or educated enough on their own anatomy and how they can experience and receive pleasure there from their male partners. Likewise, the male partners aren't being taught about the female body anatomy and the pleasure potential there. A lot of the anatomical education is much more focused on this is how you get pregnant or make a baby, and don't do it. So, there is a lack of education on sexuality and pleasure and human anatomy. On top of that, there is a lack of education on communication, especially during sex. Communication is lubrication when it comes to your sexual interactions with self and with others. So communication between sexual partners is super important for you to say, this is what I like, this is what I need, this is my feedback, can you please do this? So when women can start practicing that, they can start helping their partners to meet them in the middle and decrease the orgasm gap. Likewise, for male partners, you can also start practicing communication during sex, like requesting feedback. How does that feel? Do you like that? What do you want more of? And once again, when the male partners can start practicing their communication there, they can help to meet in the middle and decrease the orgasm gap. On top of that, there is also the fact that anatomically, men go from 0 to, let's say 100 is orgasm. They go 0 to 100 quicker than women do. Like biologically and physiologically, men are hardwired on average to get there quicker. So the average for a male is 7 minutes from 0 to 100. And the average for a female is 24 minutes from 0 to 100. So you can see how there's a huge gap there in the amount of time it takes to get to orgasm. So one of the ways that you can once again close that gap and reduce the orgasm gap is by spending more time building each other up. So more time building up to orgasm. If a woman needs longer, let's put in some more time together first, so that then we can both come and meet in the middle. Now, some other tips and tricks that are really important here is that number one, release attachment to orgasm as an outcome. So for your sex life to be more satisfying in a heterosexual relationship, start off by releasing the attachment to orgasm being a measurement of the success or satisfaction of sex. That being said, to reduce the orgasm gap, we also want to start focusing on that better communication practice with each other, as well as learning each other's anatomy better. So for a woman, for you to start learning your own anatomy and your own pleasure better, and for you to be able to communicate your wants and needs and what you like better, it's really important for you to start exploring your body better, exploring your anatomy, exploring your arousal, exploring your desires, exploring what feels good. Something really fun you can do is do that with your partner. They can watch you, they can jump in and get involved. And then for the male partners, what you can do is start learning your female partner's anatomy more. Do some research. Do the research with her. Ask her what she likes. Ask if you can watch her, and then encourage her to explore more what she likes as well. And when you guys can practice this exploration of each other together, first of self and then each other, and you can practice these more effective communication, like open, honest, feedback, curious questions. When you can practice these things, you can start to close and reduce the orgasm gap. If you are looking for any more information on this, if you want to work on this with your partner or work on this with yourself, you can reach out to me. You can check out all the links in my bio. Questions are welcome in the comments below. So please like, subscribe, follow, and let's talk about it. Like, the more that we can start these discussions, the more that we are then able to move forward, like grow and expand and learn from them and change what we know to be the norm, because an orgasm gap does not have to be the norm. And you all get to experience and create the sex life and relationships of your desires. Until next time, much, much love and many, many orgasms.